Of the 9,000 men of the Royal Army who advanced this morning from Nairn with Private Lang, an estimated 50 are dead. But for every one corpse in the Royal Army, there are 24 in the Clan Army. Piled in layers, dead or dying, are 1,200 men, including the brother of Private James Chisholm. There was scarce a soldier or officer of Barrel's 4th of Foot who did not kill 1 or 2 men each with their bayonets or spontoons. Not a bayonet but was bent and stained with blood to the muzzles of their muskets. All witnesses agreed that if grapeshot were the king of battles, the bayonet was now the queen of weapons. It is mine and everybody's opinion, boasts a trooper, that no history can brag of so singular a victory.
How do you feel?
Don't feel nothing, really.
I feel all right. Well, now it's over. Cannon! Take care! Halt!
2:14 p.m. The battalions of Cumberland halt at the lines held by the rebels 1 hour and 8 minutes ago.
Battalion! Shoulder your pilocks! Be cheered for His Royal Highness! Hip hip! Hurrah!
Thus has ended the last battle to be fought in Britain and the last armed attempt to overthrow its king. The establishment has been saved, peace restored, church, crown, trade and commerce safeguarded. Thus, the Duke of Cumberland won his only victory, and Charles suffered his only defeat. His advisers are shortly to urge his instructions for reassembly. He is to reply, "Do as you wish, only for God's sake let us go." Charles Edward Stuart, his cause now in ruins, has given one order too many. Charles pitted these men against the modern musket and bayonet, against cavalry and cannon. Thus, in 1 hour, 8 minutes, he has reduced the flower of the Highland clans to twitching, limbless corpses. (2:30 p.m.) and His Royal Highness the Duke of Cumberland orders rum and brandy, cheese and biscuits for his brave boys. For the wounded and dying clansmen on the moor, there is to be different treatment. All over the battlefield, whilst the Duke of Cumberland eats his lunch, any clansman seen to be still alive is either slit in the throat, pistoled through the head, or bayoneted and trampled on, until, in the words of an eyewitness, the moor was covered with blood, and our British soldiers looked less like Christian men than so many butchers.
This rebel host has been most deeply indebted to the public for all the rapine, murder and cruelty. and our men are heartily determined to give them receipt in full.
Got him! Got him, you bastard! Got him, man! Take him! Got the shoulder!
I'm letting my regiments of horse loose after the battle, in order they may have some sweets with all their fatigue.
Thus, nearly 100 people are to be butchered or maimed on the road to Inverness. Butchered whether or not they took any part in the battle.
They took my baby. He's only 2 weeks old. And one of them whirled him around by his leg and threw him onto the ground.
This is Jean Clark, aged 28. Cut about the face and body by sabres, she was left lying for dead on the road to Inverness.
The soldiers came in and caught him, and Daddy too, but I got away through a hole in the wall.
How old was your brother?
Lachlan was 9. I don't know where he and Daddy are now.
4 p.m. Inverness. James Ray, trooper, Kingston's Light Horse. The first man of Cumberland's army to enter the Highland capital, the first man to show its inhabitants what is to be expected from an Englishman protecting his liberty and his Protestant religion.
There was these 2 men shouting and screaming, and then he came out, and there was blood on his hands.
These troopers from the Duke of Kingston's Light Horse Regiment are later to be commended by Cumberland for their zeal in the pursuit. Each of them comes from Nottingham, each of them by trade is a butcher. James Ray himself, who like the other troopers of Kingston's Light Horse played his part in the battle when it was over, is later to return to Nottingham, where his regimental colours are to be laid to rest with great pomp and ceremony. To the perpetual fame and immortal memory of the Duke of Kingston's Light Horse, where, amongst others, on the 16th day of April 1746, they performed many and glorious exploits in routing and entirely subduing the perfidious rebels. Long may the county of Nottingham flourish. God save our ever august King. April the 16th, 10:30 p.m. Inverness. For William Augustus, Duke of Cumberland, third son of King George II, an evening of immense satisfaction and triumph. At the age of 25, he has saved his father's kingdom and redeemed the reputation of the British Army. At his table, older officers drink his toast and declare him to be one of the greatest English captains since Marlborough. His cousin Charles, until today the heroic leader of an armed rebellion, is now a fugitive in the heather. If further proof were needed of this young man's prowess, it is here, unheeded by him, 4.5 miles away. This is Lachlan MacDonald of Lochaber, right leg severed below the knee joint. He's been lying on the moor, untended, for 13 hours. For most of the time, it has been raining. This is Mrs. Anne Hossack of Inverness. Somewhere on the moor, amidst 1,200 dead and dying, is her husband.
I I don't know where he is.
For Alexander Lang, Private, Barrel's 4th Regiment of Foot, this evening is also one of immense satisfaction. His regiment has acquitted itself with honour on the field of battle. He himself has dispatched 3 of the rebels, and above all, he himself has escaped death and maiming.
Battalion will take care while the casualty lists are read.
This is Mrs. Ann Walker, wife of Private Andrew Walker, who was wounded in the ranks of Barrels and taken to the surgeon's lines. This woman also has no idea whether her husband is alive or dead.
It is given out this morning of Thursday, 17th April, that the following officers and other ranks of Major General William Barrel's Regiment of Foot were either killed or have since died from wounds resulting from the glorious victory inflicted yesterday over the rebel